G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 24 of my cold dual-wielding Reaper playthrough. Last episode was a little bit of an extra. Basically, we are back in Veteran. We are farming the Reaper and Namadea in Veteran because I want to get the pants from the Reaper and another helmet from Namadea for the final build before we head back into Ultimate and finish off the Ashes of Malmouth expansion. That does mean that this is going to be another farming episode. If I can't get the drops this episode, then I guess I'll have 2 days to go and get them off camera, or maybe I'll come back and say, hey, didn't get them, and I'm just going to go with these, whatever the best one I've found so far happens to be. So let's get into it. We are going for Namadea mostly. So I already have these Glacial of attack. They may end up being the pants that I use. For example, if I were to get an Overseer's Namadea horns of Readiness or of attack or of vitality or whatever. If I got a Namadea's horns on one of these early kills that I'm happy with, then I'll probably just head back to Ultimate and start farming Malkadar for some weapons. But it's going to come down to what drops. I do have a certain number of affixes that I need, or at least really, really want. So it's just going to be a matter of killing this enough times to get one of those. And then, close enough's probably good enough. Holding out for a specific affix combo is maybe not ideal, maybe not viable, let's say. Especially at the moment, because we're level 90, speaking of, 2 more points in execution here. Because we're level 90, we can still drop the level 84 base, the level 84 pants. They can still drop, which is frustrating because I'll get the perfect affixes and then they'll be on the level 84 base. So I could just go and get a whole bunch of XP, head back to Ultimate, farm totems for 4 levels, or however long it is until this can't drop the level 84 items, and then go from there. But I kind of want to do it this way. Okay, and there's the Reaper. Here we go. Don't fear the Reaper, as the song goes. Yep, get sundered, buddy. Okay, leg guards are the correct base. Resonant of Decay is not correct, though, so we're just going to leave that on the floor. And we'll pick up the blueprint, and the rest of that can stay on the floor. I'm not going to bother collecting items. I'll collect some, I guess. But majority of items that aren't for the build will just stay on the floor. Namadea's eye, unfortunately, not the MI that I want. But that's alright, we go again. So it takes about, 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that, for each run down here. And it's actually not too bad. So if I need to kill this thing, for example, 50 times and I get 25 Namadea's horns, and it takes 25 attempts in order to get something with Overseers, that might just have to be, Overseers of Corrosion might just be what I go with. We shall see. I do have another character on the way for farming the Reaper and Namadea, which honestly I should have done before this, but I actually wasn't thinking this far ahead, I'll be honest. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. Where are my whirly boys gone? Are they still here somewhere? Oh yeah, I'm standing on them. Okay, good. So yeah, we'll just keep doing this. I think if I don't find anything good this episode, I'll just do it in between. And I'll come back next episode and be like, hey, look at all this really cool loot that I found. And we can move on with the series. But, yeah, at this point... The other thing you could do as well, I guess, if you're playing along and you don't want to do this, just side against Barahome in Ultimate, and the only thing you will lose is you won't be able to fight the Ravager, which, if you're not interested in fighting the Ravager with, quite frankly, what's going to be a very squishy build anyway, then just do it with a different character and it'll be fine. And then you don't have to farm normal or veteran or whatever. I want the option, so I'm gonna do this, but you definitely don't have to. This is just me being neurotic. Oh, he's getting healed. All of you idiots have got to go. I think I nearly had him and then he was back to full health again. Correct base, wrong affixes. Let's just... Oh. Mythical, Blazeborn, Mantle, and the Sky Shard Spellblade. Yeah, no. No, I don't need any of that. Alright, Namadea, give me a good hat, and then I can be on my way. Give me a good hat. Come on. You know you want to. Horns, aggressive of nature's bounty. Well... No. I just want the Overseer's prefix, and then after that... Well, after that, I mean, of the Winter Storm would be great, but I don't think I'm going to get a triple rare with the exact affixes that I want. That is, I guess, the very definition of a fantasy item. Alright, I probably should make a list, actually. I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I'll try to remember. Actually, let me just open Notepad here. Write myself a little reminder. Make list. Okay, I'm making a list. I'm going to check it twice. Going to put all the affixes that are nice. So, last episode would have had the links to the two builds that I'm kind of considering, one of which was, hey, this is a whole bunch of legendary items, and if you don't want to farm MIs, then this will do the job pretty well. And the other one was a fantasy build full of rare items, or MIs that is going to take a while to farm. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a list of the affixes that I would consider to be good, and then I'll just have a note at the bottom that just says, like, you know, doesn't really matter if you get of attack on the helmet or if you get it on the belt, just have, you know, 2 of attack suffixes somewhere. But honestly, it's probably pretty flexible anyway. You have... The difference between 2,900 offensive ability and 3,000 is tangible, is a real thing, but it's also not that big a deal. Oh, here we go. Reaper's on his way. Let's just get away from the healers. And I guess we'll Mark of Torment him just so I don't immediately die. And down he goes. Resonant of Readiness is probably okay. Resonant is another one of the prefixes that's... it's alright. So these might actually be my new pair that I like. So elemental damage and cold damage for this build are the same thing. This one has more frostburn damage. Different resistances, so I'll probably keep them both. And this one has a little bit of DA and a slightly lower amount of offensive ability. 5% spirit is pretty good. Our damage comes from our spirit because we're doing cold damage. So either one of these would probably be fine. I'm going to hang on to both, and we'll just see what else drops. But I am quite happy with either one of those, honestly. They're not perfect. They're not ideal. And until I get a pair of... until I get Tempest of the Winter Storm, which is a triple rare, until I get that, there's always room for improvement. But those two, I think either one of them would be okay. So Namadea's Horns is actually the thing that I'm waiting for now, let's say. Give me something nice, come on. Glacial of Psyche, okay. And it is a level 94. Now... again, this is not... it's not great, but it could be okay. I'm going to keep farming, obviously. I really want the Overseers, but that Glacial of Psyche is not horrible. Something like that would be fine. If you get, you know, 6 hours into farming Namadea and chill, and you've got something like that, just go with it. It'll be fine. I think if you're spending 6 hours to farm one MI, it's probably too long. Unless, of course, you're one of those one character people who wants to get it perfect, in which case, yeah, good luck. I think Overseers is a pretty common prefix as far as the rare prefixes go, so it should be somewhat easy to get, and then attack, readiness, all the usual things that I've been talking about should be pretty doable as well. Getting a triple rare though is going to be obviously impossible, or close enough to impossible that it doesn't really matter. Whoops, I probably shouldn't be doing these. Anyway, it's fine, it's on veteran, they don't really hurt. Probably shouldn't be killing these either. Yeah, let's just go to the next area. It'd be really frustrating if the Reaper spawned just as I changed areas, so I had to go back. Another loading screen. Actually, I don't need to come down this way either. I think the play is to just beeline for a Namadea. And then we're gonna kill a bunch of this stuff just by walking by it. Like, look at these guys taking damage from the auras I have. Okay. Can I actually get to the final platform before he shows up? That'd be interesting. Hey, you made it. Alright, so I think we might actually be fighting Namadea, then the Reaper straight away. Yep, there he is. Prismatic of Thorns. Prismatic is... it's okay. So Prismatic is going to be an elemental resistance prefix, which I would have expected to be more than 27%, so maybe that's a low roll. But of Thorns is garbage. It's total rubbish. Alright, Reaper of the Lost is dead. Stalwart of Dancing Shadows. Dancing Shadows would also be okay. I wouldn't take it as the only rare, I guess. It's not amazing, but it's okay. Perdition, once again, showing up when I don't need it. Those sets, I swear, they are everywhere as soon as you don't need them. And if you do need them, good luck. Good luck. That's alright. We go again. So I think actually, if I kill Namadea and the Reaper hasn't shown up, I think I reset. Because I just need more shots at Namadea's horns, and those pants honestly are good enough. And I can get different affixes on different items to make up for the difference. So the reason you want Tempest instead of Resonance is that Tempest comes with percent offensive ability, whereas Resonance has got all the elemental damage and stuff that Tempest also has, but it doesn't have the percent offensive ability. So Tempest is strictly better, but it's not going to be massively, hugely better to the point where I'm going to be farming the Reaper for another 3 hours to get it. If I do get one, great. Happy days. But if I don't get one, I think that's kind of okay. We might be getting the Reaper on the first floor here. Nope, we are not. That's fine. I've killed a decent amount of stuff on the first floor. He'll probably show up pretty early on this floor, I think. Let's go over this way. Oh, there he is. Alright, so we've actually got a lot of stuff here. I'm actually going to go north here and kill off all of this stuff because there's going to be healers in this mess. And I don't want to deal with the Reaper getting healed, so we'll just deal with them. Then we'll come back here and we'll pick up the Reaper. You coming, buddy? Here you go. And down he goes. There we go. Vigorous of Soul Warding. Not really not really what I'm into. Right, Amulet of Scorched Earth, Sapphire of Elemental Balance, and Blightlord's Cleaver can stay on the ground. So the Sapphire of Elemental Balance, I've actually already got one, but now I could just craft it. So in a perfect world, I should go and craft a couple and use one of the smiths with a bonus that I like. So maybe the Black Legion guy in Homestead could get me a little bit more Aether or Chaos Resist on it, or Angrim could get me percent armor as a bonus roll. The smith in... That's unfortunate. The smith in the Steel Cap district, I think, does stun resist as one of his, so all that stuff is useful. But I'm not going to, because they are not the final rings, and I don't really want to spend time on those. As far as the final rings go, this came up in the comments of a previous video. I think it was 23? Anyway, it came up in a previous video. Someone said that, you know, the Alchemos rings, well, they were talking about it, I can't remember exactly what they said. But, the Alchemos rings is one of 3 sets of rings that would be okay for this build. So, Alchemos rings is one set, Magi rings is another set, and then you could also have, what is it called? It's not Screams of Aether. There's a ring that has cold resist shreds on it. Hang on. I have it in one of these things here. Where are we? Scrolling. Where is it? No, can't find it. That's alright. There's a ring that shreds cold resist. I'll probably remember it halfway through the rest of the video and then go, oh yeah, it's this one. So, look forward to that. But there's a ring that shreds Aether resist, and then you can have either, well, probably a Magi ring with that. And then, yeah, some sort of combination of those. You could also look at maybe the, is it Judicator set or the Justicar set? I can't remember the name of it, but it's a physical ring set that gives you a heal every time you kill things. That's also kind of okay. But there's a lot of different rings, and Alchemos rings, I pretty much chose them. Well, there's 2 reasons. One, they're really good rings. 2, the proc is really good, and 3, it's kind of a way to force myself to farm another set. Because I currently have 1 set, and I think I have a spare. But 1 set and maybe a spare for something like 20 characters, 3 of which want to use those rings, so I'm kind of just trying to force myself to farm another set. That's basically the reason why I picked them. Okay, Blighted of Scorching, I'm not even going to look at them. Night Hunters, I guess we'll eat the blueprint. More meat for the stew. Alright, here we go. This is the one I actually want to kill. The other good thing about the Alchemos rings, obviously, is the damage reduction on the proc. We do have Ill Omen, though, so we could get away with not using them. If you wanted to do Magi rings, or... No, still can't think of it. But if you wanted to do the resist shredding rings, this is a good one to do, because we have damage reduction on Ill Omen. So, I definitely don't need them. The Magi rings are fun with the proc they have that has the swirly around you. That's pretty good. It's also got... You know, let me check what they have on them. I know most of them have some sort of conversion, so... Just building a database on Grimtools. If it has... Hang on. Where are we? Ring of... Not Basti... Anubar, there we go. Has Aether to Cold conversion. So, I mean, if you get 60% Aether to Cold conversion, suddenly all this Aether damage is really good. All this flat Aether damage is really good, so... Anubar rings might actually be the optimal way to go. Like I said, we've already got damage reduction on Ill Omen. But the problem with Ill Omen is it's a button you have to push. Whereas the procs on Alchemos you don't have to push that, and you get the damage reduction. So there's a pretty good chance, actually a very good chance, that you'll die because you didn't have the damage reduction because you forgot to push the button. Especially if you're anything like me. Anyone who's watched the channel for a while, from before the changes for Pneumatic Burst. So when I was playing the Spellbreaker that I have on the channel, I would forever just be forgetting to put Pneumatic Burst up. I'd be shadow striking into groups and getting absolutely slammed because I don't have Pneumatic Burst buff active. I think that was actually a large part of why that character was so squishy. The other part, of course, being lifesteal's really good. Like, really, really good. Alright, let's go back and get the Reaper here. I'm just going to throw Mark of Torment on him pretty much every time I see him now. Runecarved of Readiness. Okay, these also could be good. Let's have a look how they rolled. I don't want that. Nope, I take it back. So they are the right level. They are kind of okay for affixes, but the base type is the wrong one, so we'll throw that out. Seal of Blades could be decent. The attack damage converted to health on these is the reason you would use them. Although that aura with increased armor percentage is also kind of good. The piercing and bleeding, I don't really care. Do I have piercing to cold conversion somewhere? No. I think there's definitely an item or two that has that I was looking at, but don't currently have it. Wayward Soul rank 18, really nice. That's another thing that's changed recently as well. The Chariot proc with like 400 flat armor, and it's up most of the time. So for example, if we come over here, the Wayward Soul proc here, 9-second recharge, 5-second duration, gives you a nice heal, 120 defensive ability, but 400 armor is huge. And it's going to be, I think it ends up being 450 or 440, which is a very large amount of armor. Especially since it's applied to every slot. So, yeah, really, really good item. Or not item, devotion. Very strong defensively. The only problem with it, I guess, is it sort of locks you into sort of top left side, so I think it's decently expensive. No, it's purple and green. Okay, I was thinking red. It's actually not that expensive to get to it, but it is 7 points, so it's not a cheap constellation. But it's still quite good defensively. 400 armor is nothing to sniff at, and the rest of the stuff is pretty good too. Do I have Ghoul? I do have Ghoul. How about that? Oh, sorry, not Ghoul. Behemoth, which I don't have. Yeah, I probably wouldn't take both of those. Maybe. Probably not. Might be a little bit too defensive. Something I thought I would never say about a hardcore character. Alright, Namadea, let's go again. Here we go. Oh, actually, while we're here, minus... I'm just going to do another search for... Band of the Eternal Haunt. That is the name of the ring with cold and aether-resistant shredding. There you go. So actually, I guess if you had that and one of the Anubar rings is a pretty good combo as well, because you're converting a lot of the aether damage to cold. The stuff you're not converting is also being shredded because of Spectral Wrath? Yeah, Spectral Wrath, and also that ring, so that could be a pretty good combo as well. Which I guess is main reason why I said it was one of the 3 setups I was looking at. Double Anubar rings would also be fun, but, you know, enjoy farming the Tomb of the Heretic 80 times to get the second one. It's the main issue I have with the Magi rings, is it's very hard to use them on a build that's solo self-found, because you're going to be farming for months to get them to drop, and then you'll get them to drop and there'll be minimum rolls, because obviously the game knows what you want, and it'll give you one, but it gives you low rolls every time. Namadea's eye again. Rip. Alright, Sunder me. No, that's not Sunder. Oh, I'm glad I hit that potion. Aether Fire of Decay, I'm not even going to look at. Tainted Heart's pretty good. Not planning on using it, but Vitality and Aether Resist, and also crit damage and OA is pretty good. Epic Offhand. Vitality to Cold, we could go one-handed. No. That is a Reaper item, though, by the looks of it. I saw bonuses to Ill Omen there. Okay, we go again. Namadea and the Reaper. Take number 73. No, I'm actually not sure how many it's been. That's alright. We farm until we get an Overseer's Namadea hat, and then maybe call that done. Like I said, I've already started the character I'm going to farm the cellar with. So I'll probably use that character to actually farm the final items for the build guide for this, but yeah. It's gonna be interesting, because if you put items like that into the build, or into a final build guide, then people will try and get them. Even, you can have all the disclaimers you like about, you know, this item is going to be very hard, it's going to take you forever, and people are still going to want the item. So, I may just actually make the Korba set. 3-piece Korba, which is what I was originally going to go for. That might be the way to go. It cuts down on 3 MIs. 3 MIs that people would have to farm. It also makes this a whole lot easier. And then not having the Reaper's pants as well would help with this. So we could use Death Whisper leggings or Rimestone. I'm going to say Rimefrost. So the legendary build might be the way to go. Having said that, the fantasy build is definitely better. Absolutely. More crits, more crit damage, more health, more defensive ability, more armor. It's just straight up better, but it's going to require a lot more farming. Okay, Menacing of Spines is not what I'm after. Leggings is also not what I'm after, so no thank you. Volcanum is actually not bad for a fire metal. I've used that on... I think I used that on the Skater. The Templar Fire Skater. Pretty sure you use that. Also good for max resistances if you're trying to kill Loka. Okay, Namadea, give me a hat. Come on. That's not even a hat. Alright, Whirly Boy's out. I'm actually getting pretty good at remembering those. Wonder how long that'll last. I'll probably swap back to the Archon later. And forget the tornadoes when I eventually get them. I think I'm up to the point now where I have the Guardians, but they're not shredding resistances yet or something like that. It's been a couple days since I recorded the Archon. Should change the channel name to Mr. Forgetful. Alright, here we go. Let's speed through this area. Don't really need to be killing any of this stuff, although a lot of it's going to die by accident anyway. Coming up on level 91, unsurprisingly, we're going to be putting points into... well, actually, this is capped, isn't it? Yeah, so that's capped. Necrotic Edge, I think, is where we're going to put points. Although, Reaping Strike could be good. More lifesteal. The vitality damage on it is going to be converted. The Aether is not, but the vitality is going to be largely converted to cold. I think the other Nightblade weapon pull skills are... they're alright. I don't think they're as good, though. Alright, let's go the other way. Why not? Have a little bit of variety. Reaper should be here any second now. And he's not here. Skill is ready. What are you talking about? Okay, here he comes. Okay, Mark of Torment's active. Everybody's nicely sundered. That actually wore off quite quickly. Okay, Glacial or Scorching. Probably not, but we'll hang on to those ones. They are the right level, they are the right base. Still getting blueprints, which is nice. So I've got 3 kind of decent options. I guess Glacial of Attack is going to be better than Glacial of Scorching. The fire stuff there, yeah, that kind of doesn't matter. We'll just throw those. Alright, Namadea, the Screecher, plus Vigorous. Oh, he was Arcane, I think. I think I saw that. Namadea's Horns, and there's 91. We get more damage on Necrotic Edge, so I think I'm going to max this out another 4 levels, and we'll have, what, 6 plus another 4 from Quest, so we should have 10 points remaining after that for, I don't know, something. Maybe we'll put some more in Pneumatic Burst. Get some extra total speed and offensive ability, perhaps. Alright. Namadea has been very, very stingy with the horns. But that's alright. We've got plenty of time to kill him over and over and over again. Eventually, Dormammu will get sick of being stuck in this trap, and he'll give us the hat. It's kind of how it feels. Namadea, I've come to bargain. Namadea, I've come to bargain, etc. Except, I guess, in the movie, I'd be dying every single time, which is not really good for a hardcore character. Dormammu, I've come for your hat. Just another 3 hours of farming to go. That shouldn't take that long, honestly. The biggest issue with Namadea is, well, one, the fact that I'm a little bit low level means that it can drop lower level bases, which is not great. But then also, he's only going to drop 1 of either the helmet or the medal. And as much as I love the medal for other characters, I don't need it for this one. And it dilutes it even further. So if I was level 100 and could only drop the level 94 base, then that's half the amount of farming. And then if I could somehow, you know, change the loot drops so that he doesn't drop the medal anymore, that's another half. So it's like 4 times the farming because of those 2 things. Which really sucks. But also, I mentioned this in the last episode. There's something about this kind of farming that I actually do enjoy. Oh, here we go. Also, that noise and the big message is really cool. I quite enjoy that. Okay, that's going to be a lot of resists, yeah. Reptilian Resilience is Poison and Vitality, and then Preserving... Is that Vitality again? I'm not sure. Another Warrant as well. Sacred Plating. Okay, Sacred Plating is really, really good. This is one of the armor components that gives armor absorption, and also gives resistances, and also gives health. So this is a really good component. I'm glad to have the blueprint. One less thing I'll need to farm when I do eventually get to 100, and want to start crafting that stuff. Did I already eat that? I did. I think I remember seeing that had, was it 18. Ooh, Mystic of Amarasta's Flurry. Might hang on to that one. I'm probably not going to use it, but +2 to Lethal Assault is definitely good. I mean, it's not Overseers, is it? So it's kind of not great, but yeah, the point I was going to make about the sacred plating. Let me just go find the recipe. But the point was basically it's very expensive to make. So let's just sacred plating. Yeah, 16 Ugden blooms will get you 1 sacred plating. Also, the blessed steel I think is decently expensive as well. Yeah, it's a lot of aether crystals. Basically, the fancy components like that are quite expensive in terms of crafting materials. Which, if you're making it for a kind of a finished character or finished build, it's definitely worth it. They are really nice components. But does somewhat prohibit them from being really useful as leveling components. Alright, here we go. I forget what we're up to. Farming of Namadea is spread across 3 different videos now, plus a couple that I didn't record. So I'll probably never know exactly how many runs this took. I've been getting a lot of the metal lately as well, so I'm kind of expecting that we're going to start getting a few more of the horns, which is good. Also, completely unfounded. Definitely not guaranteed or anything. But, you know, crack open a nice cold Coca-Cola and get a huff of that copium. Shout out to anyone who knows the reference. Hey, that was quick. Alright, here he comes. Okay, that should have reflected the Sunder onto him. Down he goes. Formidable of Decay. Okay, Formidable used to be the go-to prefix for a lot of people. Because it used to have, I think, 5% physical resistance on it. It now has healing effect increase by the looks of it. I thought it was armor, but apparently it's healing effect. Is that true? Hang on, let me check this. Formidable. Rare prefix. Physique, health, defensive ability. Yeah, it is the healing effect increase. Okay, so I'm wrong. Also, Arcane here is for Elemental Force Wave. It's decent, but the problem is it's not very good. Elemental damage is kind of bad. The problem, I think, with elemental damage is anything you can do that would make elemental damage better will also make a cold damage build better, will also make a fire damage build better, will also make a lightning damage build better, and focusing on one element is a whole lot easier than doing all 3 elements because you only need 1 resistance shredding devotion, so you, yeah, it was coping. So you don't need as many devotion points. So to get all 3 elemental resistance shredding devotions, so we're talking Murmur, we're talking, so Murmur's down here, which is red, green, and blue. Then we also need Soleil's Witchblade, red and green. Then we also need the Widow, green and blue. Then we also need 3 attack skills to proc them. Then on top of that, you're probably going to want Elemental Storm. So now you're up to 4 attack skills to proc them, and you also need some purple now. So basically, anything they could do to make Elemental sort of on par with just using fire, or just using cold, or just using lightning, anything they do to make it better is going to also apply to those 3 individual elements. And you're back to the same situation of, well, why wouldn't I just go straight cold or fire or lightning? And combining them kind of sucks. It's not so much that it sucks, it's just not as good. There is, I think, I'm really struggling to come up with any kind of build where going elemental is better than just picking one and min-maxing for that. And I also have no ideas for how you would fix that. Maybe any source of no, but even that wouldn't work. So I was going to say any source of flat elemental damage, you make it 3 times bigger than a source of cold damage. But even then, you would just take the elemental damage and use it on your cold build because you're getting a little bit of free lightning and fire damage. And you're still just going to be scaling the cold damage anyway because, I mean, resistance shredding devotions, you only need 2 procs and you only need 2 devotions to get the same effect. So, yeah, it's still better on a single thing. Maybe what you could do is have an elemental devotion for resistance shredding, so similar to, let's say, Soleil's Witchblade, or what about if we changed Elemental Storm to, instead of 29 reduced targets, we change it to minus 29% elemental resistance, and then we just have that not stacked with any of these 3. So have this be a lower amount than the fire, the lightning, and the cold one. Have it not stacked with any of them. I think that would maybe be the only way you could do it. But then you might have to make that a new devotion because fire builds, lightning builds, etc. already use Elemental Storm as a damage proc a lot of the times, and for their other resistance shredding. So it's really, really hard. Are you even the right type? You're not. Goodbye. Flamekeeper's Jacket. There we go. Stonehide of Attack, no. Okay, we're just going to leave those on the floor. But yeah, it's kind of hard to make elemental damage work without also just buffing the reason why you wouldn't use elemental damage. So short of adding a new devotion, I can't see a way to do it. And the new devotion would have to be deliberately designed to not work with the existing resistance shredding for fire, lightning, and cold. Mystic of Scorched Horns, yet another perdition piece. Okay, well it was the right item at least. So we've got a little bit of that going for us. Still remember the Whirly Boys, so getting better at that, at least for now. But yeah, that's my take on why elemental builds are not good. Because any build you could make that does elemental damage, you could instead make focusing on one rather than all 3, and it would be better. I actually tested this when I was making that cold Battle Mage Force Wave character. He was originally going to be an elemental Force Wave character using Arcane, the weapon that started this whole discussion. And I couldn't make it anywhere near as close as powerful as even just straight cold. So Arcane looks really cool. Getting a purple Force Wave looks really cool. It's just not very good, which is unfortunate. I think even if you did make that new devotion, you'd still have issues with gear. Because you've got a ring that shreds cold damage, and if you make another ring that does elemental, well, now you just use both of those rings on a cold build and it's better. And same with fire. I mean, you've already got 2 different rings that do fire resist shredding, I'm pretty sure. But even if it's only one, you've got the same problem. Now you just use the elemental one as well. So it's very, very hard. I don't know how you would do it. Who was healing him? This guy, Bloodmancer. Okay, Mystic of the Winter Storm. This also could be pretty good. That might be the best one yet. Let's just chuck it over here in the pile. Soul's Touch. We will absolutely eat that. Why do I have this? No, thank you. At some point I'm going to make a Fire Force Wave Commando as well. Because I know everybody loves Force Wave as much as I do, because it's a really good skill, and not at all something that people get bored of for some reason. I don't know why, but people definitely say they get bored of Force Wave. I don't see it, it's just a really effective skill in my opinion. But, hey, people are allowed to get bored of things. Well, that's not Overseers, so... Next. Still remembering the Blade Spirits, which is nice. And back to Barrowhome. Should actually keep my eye out for a good Namadea's eye. I think it's Namadea's eye is the metal. Keep my eye out for one of those. Maybe do something with the, with like Vitality, Pistol, Oppressor? No, not Oppressor, it's, Apostate. Maybe Gargable's Pistols, Namadea's Eye, something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of build ideas kind of rattling around in my head. And I'm probably not going to make most of them. But it's always fun to think about things like that, right? Find a really cool MI or a really interesting legendary or epic item or whatever, and you just think, you know, what could I do with this thing? Never actually do it, but what could I do with it? If I had all the time in the world to make endless characters from this shiny new item I just found. Could be fun. And there's always multiple ideas too. I mean, obviously some items, like the mythical Arcane, it's Rainbow Force Wave, and that's kind of the only thing you can really do with it. But for a lot of MIs and stuff, you can mix and match between 3 or 4 different class bonuses on them. So they can be a lot of fun. No Reaper yet, so I'm expecting him any second. There he is. Yeah, the important part here is that he doesn't get healed. Hey, it worked. Well, Taskmasters is pets and Decay is the wrong item type. There's Titan Plating. So this is, I believe, going to be the chest component. Once again, 16 Ugdam Blooms to make one of these things. The rest of it's not too bad, although Imbued Silver is, I think, another pile of Aether Crystals. But, yeah, that's going to be on our chest component. No, sorry, we're using Kilrians. So never mind. The Titan Plating is what I replaced Kilrians with once I decided that I wanted Overseer's Namadea's Horns, that's right. Come on, Namadea, give me the hat. Reapers of Readiness, okay. So Reapers is obviously the rare Reaper prefix. That's where we're getting +2 to Necrotic Edge and +2 to Execution, which is really good. Converting everything to Vitality, though, not so great. Elemental converted to Vitality, yeah. Not so great, but Reapers of Readiness is pretty good. Not what I'm after, though. Alright, we'll get a couple more runs in. Coming up on the hour mark. I'll maybe go for another 20 minutes or so. Let's say 6 more kills. 7 more kills. Right, we'll go 7. I'm going to lose count anyway. It doesn't matter. But we can definitely get a few more in. And like I said, if I don't get this sort of while I'm recording, I'll probably just do it in between. So next episode will probably start with me saying like, hey guys, farm for another 7 hours to get this hat, and it's kind of okay. It's not amazing, but it's alright, and I'm sick of farming this place, so we're moving on. But hopefully I can get it on camera, on the episode. That'd be great. It'd be surprising, but it'd be great. we got Haldra, okay. Was there another one? Did I see another hero? No, I must be going crazy. Yeah, I'm definitely going crazy. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the Den of the Wendigo. Let's go.
Can't do that yet.
Okay, Obliterous was obliterated. I'm sure that's where that name came from. Holder, okay, yep.
Can't do that yet.
Alright, expecting Mr. Reaper. Yep, there he is. It's gonna say any second now, and there he is. Yeah, I don't see any healers here. Doesn't mean they're not in range. Just means I don't see them. Did he miss? I think he missed that Sunder. Stanching of Fallen Skies is no good. Seal of Annihilation is really good. What do we got? We've got 16% Aether Resistance. Which means I can put that on right now. Alright, that's the thing that's happening. So, Seal of Annihilation puts a debuff on the enemies, shreds their offensive and defensive resistance. It's really, really good. It's pretty much my default amulet component for any build except pets. I think for pets you probably don't need it. Another Namadea's Eye. Alright, let's go craft it. What augment do I have? Slith Venom? Really? Okay, sure. This is going to mess up where I log in now, but it's alright. Okay, keep item. Yes, I'm sure. I probably should have made sure that I can actually craft this thing before I did that, but you know what? It's done now, so too bad. Better hope I can make this. Alright, Annihilation. What do we need? We need 4 Black Tallows. Uh-oh. Black Tallow. 4 of these, which means I need 12 Rift Stones. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna do a few runs through the Warden's Laboratory, and dang, wouldn't it just be really useful to have less damage taken from ethereals in this area? For the record, yes, that would be quite useful. Oh, and we're on Veteran, so they're not dropping anyway. We're just gonna take a quick vacation back to Ultimate. And we're gonna get some Aether Crystals. I think I'm going to need to do 2 or 3 runs of this to get enough Aether Crystals, which I'm fine with because that component will be used in the final build. And if I can use it now, it's just another debuff that I can stack on things. Also, free extra Aether Shard there. Speaking of shards, can we stop dropping shards, please? I need crystals. How are we doing for negative rep for these guys? Nowhere near Nemesis, which I guess is good. Guess that's good. I don't really want to be messing with Valderan if I don't have to. Okay, 8th shard. Crystals. Crystals is definitely what I want. I mean, I guess I'll take Cluster, but I really would have preferred crystals. How many did I get from all that? Aether crystals. I've got 10, but I think I started with a couple. Maybe not. I only saw 1 cluster and 3 shards in my inventory, so maybe that's right. Okay, so if I'm getting about 10 a run, yeah, I'll probably do 12 threes. I need 36, and I have like 10, so yeah, probably 3 runs should be enough. So 3 runs, we're halfway through the second already. Pretty easy, yep. Also tempted by the totem that can sometimes spawn there. Might be worth killing that a couple of times if I see it. Maybe, I don't know. Probably not, let's be honest. what are we up to? 19? Yeah, I think one more complete run should give me enough, and then also a couple extra. Just for some casual crafting on the side, you know? Alright, one more. Then we'll go make ourselves a Seal of Annihilation. And never have to worry about amulet components ever again. Although we will have to worry about augments, I guess, and other components. I think they should make a mythical version of the Elemental Storm, or these rings. I'd love to see a mythical version of them. The same proc, but maybe now it can go through walls and just continue spiraling. I think that'd be cool. I know I'm not technically here for totems, but I mean, I'm not here for totems, if that makes sense. Crown of Infernal Gems, no. Red Book, blah blah blah. Nope, don't want any of that. I'll eat the blueprint and I'll be on my way. More reputation with the Outcast. I always forget she's a thing. Okay, I've got enough Aether Clusters, I don't need any more. Please and thank you, stop dropping them. Okay, I'm gonna say that's probably enough. Probably. What was it? It was 4 Black Tallows, which makes... it was 12 Rift Stones, that's right. Which makes 4 Black Tallow, which makes 1 Seal of Annihilation. There we go. Okay, so plus 20 Spirit, nice damage, plus 5% attack speed, great. The rest of that kind of don't care. The Annihilation proc there, 5-second duration, reduction to enemies' health, minus 55 OA and DA, and then also cuts their health regeneration. So, all good stuff. Another 16 Ugden Blooms. I am definitely going to have to go and farm some more of those. Alright, let's go back to Veteran and keep farming the old Namadea. We have returned once again to Bargain. I'm going to go back to the Covenant's Refuge and run around a little bit, just so as I can log back in here instead of back in Devil's Crossing. Saves me from having to scroll the map quite so much to go to where I'm farming.
I'll hold on to that for you.
Thank you so much. Okay, back to Barrowhome. I got a good feeling about this run. Just got an upgrade from the Seal of Annihilation. I'll see if I can show the proc on that. It's maybe going to be hard to see, because everything's going to be dead before it shows up. It does require crits to trigger, so if you can't crit, you can't use this. And that offensive ability is quite low. Defensive ability on this character is kind of ridiculous, actually. Last attacked by K alive. I have no idea what that is. It's fine. Handa the Bloodweaver. There it is. That little glyph. It's kind of like a blue circle with a blue half circle underneath it. Yeah, that one there. Right there. That's the Seal of Annihilation proc. Really, really good for bosses as well. Shred their defensive ability so you crit them more often. Shred their offensive ability so they crit you less, miss you more. All that fun stuff. I would say the only builds you don't want that on is probably pets, because player offensive ability for pets is not something you really focus on, so it can be hard to trigger it. Alright, Come here, Reaper. Give me your pants. That's not at all creepy sounding. Don't get healed, don't get healed. Good. Okay, Ancient of Attack could be alright. Wrong base item. Ancient's going to be the armor percentage. And then of attack, obviously, is a big chunk of offensive ability, which I desperately need more of. Can I actually crit the Reaper? Don't know.
I can't do that.
Can I crit Halros? I can. I probably can't crit the Reaper. Just looking at that, I have a feeling I'm actually incapable of hitting him with a critical hit. That's not to say for sure I can't, but it does look like it. Or if I can, it's going to be an incredibly low chance. Let's just put it that way. Alright, come on, Namadea. Overseer's helmet. Give it to me. Impervious of fallen skies. Well. And it's a level 84 base as well. That kind of stinks. Alright, we're going to go for one more run, and then I'm going to end the episode. I'm getting a little bit long here. So, it's got to be this time. It's got to be this time. Surely. Surely they wouldn't make me farm for another 4 episodes to get this. It's not the Perdition set. Don't make me do it. Might be worth actually investing in the movement rune on the metal. Maybe get, what is it called? Amatok's Breath. Just so as I've got a movement skill for when there's nothing to Shadow Strike to. It's also good for getting through doors. It's also good for freezing things, because everything you hit with it has a chance to be frozen. I think it's chance to be frozen. It might just straight up be will freeze, but I think it's chance. Alright, last chance. Last chance. Here we go. Alright, Reaper any second here. There's the noise. Here comes the Reaper, boys. Alright, last chance. Glacial of the Void. Okay, well, that's kind of not good. It's the wrong base as well. Okay. Overseer's Helmet. Overseer's Helmet. It's going to be hilarious if it drops the Overseer's Helmet and then I look at it and it's a level 84 base. By hilarious, I mean infuriating. Having said that, I am level 91 now, so it may not actually be able to drop. Let's have a look here. See what level Namadea actually is. And then I'll go have a look on Grimtools and just see what the chances are. So Namadea is level 96. So what I can do, actually, let's do it now. Can I do this? Oh, I can. Look at that. Alright, so we go to the monster database here, and it'll load up. We'll go to Namadea the Screecher, and then I'm going to change Namadea's level to, what was it, 96, I think? I think it was 96. And then go to Notable Loot. So, yes, can still drop it. Can still drop it. Do note this is the monster level, this is not my level, so Namadea can go to, even at level 105, still has a 50-50 chance of dropping the level 84. Well, that sucks. Alright, let's get back into this, and where are we? That one. Black screen, still black screen, there we go. Okay, Spellbinder's Namadea's Eye of Decay is unfortunately not the helmet that I want. And definitely not the affixes that I want. Although, Spectral Wrath, Spectral Binding, and then on an MI with those... I mean, if that had of... what's a good one? Of Vitality, maybe? No, Vitality is health. Of something with Vitality damage. Abomination, maybe? I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that could have been good. Anyway, I'm going to call that the end of the episode, so thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.